So you're here
I'm
on the
here.
show. Yeah, we've been talking back and forth for a minute, try to get our schedules to line up,
I know
but
it's bad.
it's holidays and just us.
I know.
but but I'm glad you're here now. So like any new guest we get on the show, I want to hear about like how you got to the Highland Games. Like, what's your origin story? Did you play sports growing up that kind of led you to here, or did you
Oh,
find it in later in life?
so yeah, I found Highland Games later in life. I was an athlete in school, but no throwing events. I was softball, basketball, field hockey. So
Mhm.
nothing that really lended itself to me thinking I could do any of those things that I saw the Highland Games throwers doing. It was just like this is odd, and I think that I could probably throw the tree. And so turns out that I was sitting there long enough that I kind of got up some nerve and went down to the field. And turned out I started talking to Matt Hand, um, who now is like my bestie.
Yeah.
I started talking to him, and I'm like, "How do you get involved in this? Like, what do you do?" And he's like, "Get a kilt and show up." And I was like,
Yeah.
well, "That's it? Like, that's the prereq? Like, you get a kilt and show up?" He's like, "Yep." And then I think it was like 3, maybe 4 weeks later, I was in my first games, and I think that I literally spent almost the entire day on the ground. I don't think there was ever a moment where I was like, "Hey, I get this. I understand this." Nope. Um, Everybody else was staying upright, and I just kept laying down. And I think that a lot of us have the same story where somebody sees something and they take you under their wing and kind of show you the ropes a little bit, and either it sticks or it doesn't. I think that I fell in love with the camaraderie. I fell in love with the challenge of learning new sport, um, and all that went with that. I was pretty heavy when I started Highland Games, so after that first few games and that taste of it, I decided to make some life changes, lost a lot of weight, and came back the next year just really kind of anxious to learn and to get better. I think that just started the journey of, chasing the next big throw as I
Yeah.
grew in the sport, and then learning. Um, Still can't throw stones for shit. It's not my jam. My arms aren't long enough. I don't have the leverage for it, and that's okay. I make up for it in other events, and I've really kind of stuck close to the people that were going to show me the right techniques to get better. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how I ended up here.
What so did you meet Matt Hand at a games and like that was
Yeah,
like your first interaction with him?
yeah, like
Yeah.
literally, I was like, that guy seems approachable. I'll go talk to him. So that's literally how it started, and then um, it's so weird, because I mean, I'm like twice his age, but we just really clicked. We had
Yeah.
a good time together. He really took time to really teach me how to throw, and through that, a friendship started, and we've just been friends ever since. And I think that um, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I think that we have a very similar personality when it comes to engaging with the crowd,
Yeah.
and really, really trying to make it a whole sport where everybody gets involved. So,
Yeah. You guys are both pretty I'd say high energy.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
that's probably the best way to describe would be high energy. I've yet to experience you and Matt together. I've seen you guys one on one, but never together. Matt says it's a sight to behold.
it is. We have, so I think that we forget there's actually a games involved um, when when we're together, because a lot of the times either he's emceeing or and I'm throwing, or vice versa. or we're at an event where we're both kind of on the microphone together. um,
Mhm.
and I I definitely think the athletes and the crowd get a lot more than they paid for when they came in. We work really well together in that respect, not just kind of tossing jokes back and forth at throwers and making it a little bit lighter, but also getting the crowd behind somebody, really building
Yeah.
somebody up, really you know making sure that the hype is real, um,
Mhm.
and really selling what we do as entertainment.
Yeah. I like that. You normally you live in like the Northeast, right? And that's
Yeah.
like primarily where you throw.
Um, yeah, I travel a bit, but not as much as I used to when I first started throwing. A lot of the times I go to Virginia or Pennsylvania, a couple other games here and there. But you know, the older I get, the more going to a games, driving 6 hours, throwing, and then driving, you know, driving
Yeah.
halfway back the next day, or even leaving the same day as the games end. I'm just not equipped for that anymore.
Yeah.
I need some of the comforts. So,
I feel you. What's the furthest you've ever like furthest games you've ever gone to?
um, like stateside or just anywhere.
Anywhere.
I think the furthest. I think the furthest was Iceland.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the furthest.
Nice.
So I've been to Europe a couple of times to compete. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I've been
Yeah.
fortunate, if I could say.
Yeah. I mean, and Iceland was that for the World Championship?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. What's the furthest you've ever driven for a games?
I think the furthest I've ever driven is VSG, so down in Virginia. So 6 hour trip.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh
it's usually
wow.
that was a me and Matt road trip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's an experience as well.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could fit any other people in that car. Or just you two.
No, not really. Usually my partner would end up getting, poor woman, settled in the back between our gear. So
Yeah,
it's
get,
like
with headphones on. Just
her
yeah,
own headphones and like, please, just for the love of God, don't get us in a wreck. Because a
yeah,
lot of the times, we're listening to music and the car is literally jumping, down the highway. So like, just like, please, just don't get in a wreck. And if you're going to go in a
yeah,
store, let me go in ahead of you so that I don't have to claim you. So
yeah.
it's like,
We're not together.
right. We just happened to walk in the store at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah,
So a lot of fun though. A lot of good
I
memories
bet.
during those trips.
I bet. How many games do you compete in a year?
Um, a lot less than I used to. Um,
Hmm.
and a lot of that is because a lot of the games have kind of dried up. So
Sure.
typically, I would throw 12 to 15 games a season, maybe.
Yeah,
And now, 8, 10 is about average.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think 8 to 10 is probably average for most people these days.
Yeah.
And like for me around here, like man, we'd have to travel for 8 games. You guys have quite a few like near you, which that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is nice. It's funny, it's people will say, "Oh, that game's just like really far away." I'm like, "It's freaking 3 hours. Like, what is the problem? Like just go." Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Some people won't drive um
Oh,
for games, and then
we
they'll say, I don't have enough games to like have numbers for things. I'm like, "Well, yeah, because you don't go." So like,
yeah. You
they're
gotta
not
try. I
coming to
say
you.
like yeah, I tell so many people like once you like get good enough that like you're kind of committed to this sport. Like you're like this is my thing. I want to get really good at it. You got to travel. Like it is so much more fun if you go other places, meet new people, throw against other people. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you go to games and like you didn't do well. The games was a disaster for whatever reason. It's raining or whatever, but that happens, and you can look back on that and with a fond memory, I guess. But you won't get the good ones, the ones where you meet like new like lifelong friends,
Yeah,
because you didn't drive that 4 hours. It's
yeah,
totally worth it. It's always going to be worth it, I think.
absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. I mean, and especially, it's nice to sometimes go someplace and get my ass kicked, right? It
Yeah.
reminds me that there's still work to do,
Hmm.
so it's nice to travel to different games and participate humbly.
Yeah. Do you, I'm always willing to get beat. I don't want to at all. I genuinely like hate it, but like I'm not afraid of it. Like if I see it coming, like I'm not gonna shy away from it. But I mean that's like that's a whole nother level of like competition where you're not just like having fun out there, but like you are like competing. It's you against this other person for first, and like that feels good. And sometimes it takes you to have to go somewhere to like get that experience.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah,
worth it. Totally worth it.
yeah.
But
It's funny.
um,
It's sometimes when I go to a different place, because I am very short. And a lot of the times, people will see that, like the crowd will like, kind of like puzzle, like, what is this tiny person gonna do? And it's a lot of fun for me to show them um, what I actually have to bring to the table. I can remember the first time being in Germany at Worlds, and in the beginning, I think that there was a lot of snickering from from the German crowd, and by the end of that Worlds, I think that every single person that was attending that games was on my side. They were like
yeah.
Team Mouse, like 100%, and that feels good. That feels
Oh
really
yeah,
really good to show up that way. So,
definitely. How tall are you?
how tall am I not? I'm 4'11", so
Okay,
I'm
man,
pretty.
didn't even get that
I'm
five in there.
no, I did get it on my driver's license just because I asked nicely if they could just change the
Nice.
number. So can you just put a 5, please?
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
so yeah,
appreciate that. Well, yeah, because like I mean, it's definitely jarring from like the crowd because you are in like a field of giants out there. It's a like it is a stark contrast. I like to
yeah.
see it though.
It is so funny because like I'll look at pictures. We do. How we do the group pictures before games,
Hmm.
and I'm like, who let their kid on the field? Frick, that's me. Like, oh shit, that's me. Like it is funny. I remember standing next to Beth Burton, and I was on the top step of the podium, and she was still taller than me, and I was like, damn. If only
Yeah.
I had those levers.
Yeah, man. Every time I take a group photo on the field with other people, like I'm 6'1", maybe 6'1" in the morning, so probably just a good honest 6 foot. That and like the on the pro class is just that's little. I'm very short,
Yeah,
but like but out in the real world with normal people, like I'm a tall guy, sure, and
right.
no one's looking up at me like holy crap, who's that? But not short either.
Yeah, it is kind of cool though. Especially, if people haven't thrown with me before, I like to have a lot of fun with them, and I like to really kind of show the crowd that it doesn't matter what your size is. It matters what your determination is, you
Yeah.
know. How determined are you to beat these giants? So, I show up
Yeah.
every day with that attitude.
Yeah. It's not easy.
No, no, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So we have you on here to talk about the Scottish Athletics International. What what does your position in that organization?
So, on paper, we've just become a
Sure.
501(c)(3) organization. So on paper, It is president. I'm the president of the organization. Um,
El Presidente.
yeah, El Jefe. But what I really am is the director of operations. I don't see myself as any different than the next person, and
Sure.
that we are a team, and that we've built a pretty solid team, and the team consists of athletes trying to make a better way forward. You know, building off of the things that were successful when it was just SMAI, Scottish Masters Athletics and International, but um, taking a more team approach as to as it, in the past, it's always just been kind of a one person show or two people running it, and it wasn't very successful in that
Hmm.
regard. Scottish Athletics International, the goal is to not just have Masters World Championships under our belt, but to carry other championships. So we're carrying the men's lightweight U.S. Nationals and the World Championships, and we're trying to expand that reach a little bit to reach into Europe a little bit more. We are working a little bit. We're supporting this year. We're supporting the Eastern U.S. Women's regular Eastern U.S. Women's Championship, not lightweight. But
I was going to say like Eastern Women's Lightweight Championship.
yeah,
There's like
no, there's two
there's
people.
three girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yes, we're supporting that because we're cool. No, what we're trying to
Yeah.
do is we're trying to start partnering with people that are already hosting championships. What we've discovered is there's like 32 different games that consider themselves championships
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. So we're reaching out to all of those championships and we're asking them, what does it mean to you? What does it look like? And how do you support the athletes in that endeavor to host a championship? What does that look like for you? The reason why we're asking is because we've kind of created a good framework already with Masters World Championships. And instead of everybody kind of reinventing the wheel for a championship, we'd like to just logistically support how that runs, how it works. And in some instances, if the people that are kind of hosting these things are kind of feeling like they're overwhelmed with it, asking if they'd like us to take it and run with it and put it under our umbrella. Um, we're not trying to, we're not trying to take over the world. What we're trying to do is just kind of give a more mainline approach to how championships are run and what they look like. Um, what we're really trying to do is enhance the experience for the athletes themselves while supporting the hosts.
So that was gonna be one of my questions is because right now SAI has only run one like the just the Masters World Championships. You guys haven't run a lightweight Worlds yet or lightweight Nationals yet,
Right,
right?
right.
So I get one of the questions I had on here was like, do you guys have any plans on just starting like your own games in the U.S. and in Europe? Like not even championships, just run of the mill games to help like, you know, increase the quantity of games in the country.
Right now, that's not what the direction is. Right now, is we're trying to kind of define and focus on championships.
Sure.
But that's not to say that as the organization moves forward, that's not a direction that they could go.
Hmm.
Um, the reason why we have so many people um, on board right now, and if you look at the website, you can see the people that are actually involved in what's happening, is because we don't want to get too big too fast.
Okay.
We don't want to, we don't want to be a governing body. We don't want to step in and say, well, you're doing that wrong. That's not what we're trying to do. Um, we're just right now, because we've just opened up that 501c3 organizational part of the business. What we're trying to do is say, we can help you look for sponsorships. We can help you develop the championship that you already have. If you need financial support, um, for shirts or other things that go with that championship, awards, eventually, prize money. These are things that we're trying to figure out what the need is, so that it can be supported. Because a
Hmm.
lot of the times, like if something starts and it's a championship or it's a national games, they start and then sometimes they fall off because there's just not enough funding for it. So we're trying to figure out how to support those things in a better way, um, to make them successful.
Hmm.
So we're not looking to like do games. We're not looking to IHGF like circuit stuff. That's not really what we're looking for, right now.
Yeah, because for me in my mind that would be like a progression of like a way to do what you guys are doing is to like start sprouting up games, create a circuit that leads into Masters Worlds or Lightweight Worlds or something like that. But
Yeah, and I
I mean,
think
like
that maybe
not
go ahead.
yeah, not that it's a the only way to do it. Like, but that's like where my mind would go right away. Is like, okay, we can string these all together. But that's a surefire way to grow too big too fast to where
Yeah.
you're going to have a whole lot of headache. It's no one's going to know how to handle the processes that are involved in all that. Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
it's
it's fun.
yeah, and we don't want to be like a governing body. We don't want to tell anybody how to do whatever championship or games that they're running. What we're trying to do is say if this is successful, we can help you make it more successful by supporting you. We can use our media to push out information about your games. We can, get more eyes on it in Europe. We have SAI Europe. We have a couple of people in Europe now that are starting to kind of work with us. The hardest thing about Europe, I think, is that um, I think that that's like a lot like here. There's not a lot of communication about what their games is, what it looks like, what their organizations are, and how they function. So we're trying to kind of dig into that a little bit and see if we can get more cooperation, um, with games in Europe, to make it a little more streamlined. Because I mean, even some of their games, it's like the weights aren't even the same as what we use, and I'm like, how do we compare these things?
So
I don't get it.
the one of the funnest things to do is like late night YouTube, late night Highland Games YouTube. It's got to be late night because this is where you get the stuff that you wouldn't normally see in the daytime. The algorithm flips at night, but you get on YouTube, you start looking up Highland Game stuff. You go pretty deep into it. You're scrolling, you're scrolling. You're not watching the first like 20 videos. You keep digging and digging until stuff like is completely not relevant to Highland Games, but you keep digging some more, and then you find European Highland Games, and it's you recognize it right away. But like some of the videos, they're throwing like a hammer that is a metal ball at the end. A instead of like a PVC handle, it's a metal rod that has like a D ring welded onto the end of it,
Oh
and
my
that's
god.
their hammer. And like, and they're using this, and I'm like, I don't know if they know about like PVC handles or rattan handles, but someone should tell them because this
I
looks
know.
awful.
Looks terrible.
And but I guess if you're like a wire hammer, like I mean, that locks you in pretty good because you have like it's a similar handhold, but it looks miserable. And like I've seen like heavyweights that aren't really heavyweights at all. Like, and we've all seen the ones in Scotland. They're like that giant block, that doorstop looking thing.
Right.
This looked even different than that, but it's wild. Look it up. It's it's in the internet somewhere, but it's funny.
I will
So
check those out.
so the point of all that is like they're not really like we're not standardized. This we're not standardized. They're even less so over there.
Yeah.
And so I guess it would be really nice if everyone was on the same page.
Yeah, it's funny, because we're setting up to go to Netherlands this year for
Mhm.
26 for Worlds, and I have to, we have to be very, very specific about the implements. Like
Hmm.
they can't be these janky like ragtag. Like we're going to show you, we start sending information and pictures of what
Yeah.
things should look like. It's a little going to be a little daunting this year. This is the first year Europe is going to have to provide sheath bags.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So again, we started sending Vivi. I started sending him YouTube videos from over here on like how to make a sheath bag because I'm like, it can't be a pillow. Like you can't.
Oh, did you send him the good video? The guy from like Idaho or whatever?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
The good
love, dude,
stuff.
that's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, the good stuff. Like you have to like it can't look
Yeah.
wonky. It's got to be this.
My
So
computer's sitting on a mac and cheese box that is made like as a template for sheaf to make
nice,
sheaf bags, like
nice.
based off that video. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it makes it nice and tight. But it is a little scary when we start, discussing implements,
Yeah.
because the last thing I want is for, us to get there and things to be unsafe. I know that. I mean, there were some things in Switzerland that I was like, this is like this feels more like a garden hose than it does a hammer handle. Like, I don't think we should throw this. I don't feel good about this. But that's what we had, It's like I don't. Do you guys have PVC here? Like, I don't know what's happening. So we've learned from those things, and we start sending information really early to say this is what's expected. Um, kind of the same thing with cabers. I have to tell you, in Switzerland, it was interesting. I don't know that they side judge much, but all their all their caber judges had like these giant wooden protractors,
Hell
like that
yeah.
they would run along the side of you and like get the little thing, the little flag ready so that
Yeah.
they could kind of measure the angle. I was like, okay, sure, I see you, right. But I was like,
Yeah.
I hope they don't fall with the with the protractor because I don't. It's not going to end well. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've encountered some things that have kind of given me pause to say there needs to probably be some kind of standardization at some point.
I on the protractor thing, I am a huge fan of protractoring sheaf or not sheaf, sorry, caber, because it gives everyone a different number. Because like
Right.
I know damn good and well that that wasn't a 75 because the one right before that was also a 75 and that was way higher. This was like a 45 like but I'll take it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like if you so and like but if it's like on someone else it's like I don't know. But if you have a protractor like it's going to read something different generally for everyone. And that
It
if we're
was.
side judging here, which is debatable whether we should side judge or not, some like it's going to be different. There's not going to be any ties on caper
Right.
because
It
it's
was
not the
interesting.
same. It wasn't the exact same throw every single time. It was all different. And like I can care less about like having like half a clock face to determine like what like sure eyeball that, but I want a mechanism for the side. If we're
For
doing
this
side
side.
judging, like yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to get pinned down by a 75 degrees that everyone else is getting as well.
Right. It was. I'm telling you though, those things were huge. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh shit, that's the side judge's marker. Okay.
You could use a little one, doesn't have to be
Oh my
big.
god, they were huge. They were like huge. I was like, that is going to hurt if you fall on that, sir. It's just going to hurt. Throw it away if you fall. And it was like that games was so muddy.
Hmm.
You could barely stand still without your feet like sliding apart. It was like this
Yeah,
clay mud. So it's like somebody's eating shit with that protractor. I know they're gonna. It's just
yeah,
inevitable.
yeah.
But that goes to the point of trying to standardize some of the stuff. Um, I think that we do a good job of it with Masters World Championships because we can dictate because it's our games. Um,
Hmm.
so to an extent, we do dictate what is there and what is provided.
See, and like I was just thinking about this, like when I was a lightweight and we're doing lightweight world championships or national championships, we had like a set of rules that the lightweights, that the group like generally followed. We all had it like we've discussed it through group text like ad nauseum. We all know the rules that we are going by, but then we go to the championship and like they do it regionally different in Utah than they do Mississippi the year before. And so like we're always having to try to adjust our rules because we're trying to accommodate for like the AD's rules and the local rules. But if you have a championship that is like, oh, this is how we do it, and this is how like these are the rules that we abide by, it gets a lot easier for athletes to say, no, we're not scoring caber like that, or like, no, we're not throwing a fucking weird pound sheaf or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
But
I
I don't
mean
know.
it is easier with MWC because we're very specific.
Mm.
Um and it's I think that it's in all fairness, it's everybody expects the same thing all the time. And we give hosts a little bit of leeway. They can, decide if they're using like a straight trig or a wing trig. Um, they can kind of, we work with them a little bit on what their cabers look like. That's always kind of a bone of contention too, because I never feel like there's any in between cabers at Worlds. They're like, you're throwing this 95,000 pound caber. Like, why? This makes no fucking sense. People are going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? But, we try to give them a little bit of wiggle room, but also we say that these are the things. I mean, stuff like, you know, weights handles, whatever you want. You want a D, you want a ring, whatever, that's fine. But the weight still
Yeah.
has to, it has to be a proper weight. It can't be, you know, friggin' gym weights welded together. Like it has to be proper.
Right.
Like you have to buy them from somebody reputable. You can't just have weird shit.
Yeah.
So
If I were commander of the universe, I would make more rules for like hosts to have to abide by. Like we are doing wing trigs, we're doing D handles, we're doing, cabers are this, and this. Like they meet these requirements. And it's going to be consistent year after year. Like me as an athlete, that's what I would want is to know
mm,
that this is what I'm going to be throwing at Worlds. So this is what like I'm going to practice with, and this is what I'm going to try to convince every other AD to switch to. Like,
mm.
oh, World Championship uses wing trigs, and they're going to from here on out. So you guys should switch to wing trigs as well. So we're all on that same page. And then like some people go for it, some people won't, but I think that's in my mind one way I would build consistency year to year. But
Yeah, and we
you
do
guys do
try.
you. Yeah.
Well, we do try. Sometimes it's just not possible, and the last thing I'm gonna have a freaking knockdown drag out with an AD or a host is a trig board.
Yeah.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like I honestly don't have time for it. If that's what makes you happy, I guess just do that. Um,
Hmm.
but we're very specific about how they have to be, you know, secured and they have to,
Yeah.
meet certain requirements. But I don't know. I mean, I've worked with Mike Dickens, I've worked with Ted Van Vleck, and a lot of the times they're just like, just do what you want. And I'm like, yo, bro, we have to like. I mean, this is our thing. Like, we have to have some kind of sense of what we want to see happen.
Hmm.
And I think that sometimes too they get bogged down. People get bogged down in well, if we don't give them what they want, the host is just going to back out. Well, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, do you want this to be a professional thing for the athletes, or do you just want to like bum around and like get a host? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand what you want to appease the host, or do you want to do what's right for the athlete? So I think that we're more working more towards those things all the time. We have a sounding board, um, just comprised of athletes, that's rotating. Anybody can join that. The reason why we do that is because we want to hear from athletes from different regions, from different places. Like, what are your thoughts about this? Like, we'll put out 5 questions in a questionnaire type thing, and they respond. And, we take those things into consideration as we move forward with a lot of the things that we're working on. It's just not, it's not just a, well, this is what we say, so this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
It is really, really trying to be more inclusive, more collaborative. Again, we're just really trying to get our name out there. So we're just really trying to support all these championships. We're I have a conversation coming up in a couple weeks with Brenda from Kilted Patriot, um, because they're doing a lot of great things, and I want to kind of see if we can work together. And we're always getting asked about adding adaptives,
Mhm.
adaptive category to Masters World Championships, and logistically, it's just really difficult, especially because there's no standardized anything, really, for adaptives. So I'm going to work with them to see what we can do and what we can create, and how we find categories that would satisfy that, and maybe have build up to a championship for them,
Yeah.
to work in. So
Yeah. I threw with an adaptive athlete one time, and he's like, I was like, oh, how'd that throw go? He's like, man, every one of these is a world record. And I was like, well, how are all these world records? He's like, because there's no one in my category doing it. And I was like, okay, you've nailed it. You got all the world records. But I'm
right,
like, there's a ton of categories, and how different adaptive classes, like regionally, like how they do it, it's all very different. Because some will put out like that at that apparatus. Like if you're in a wheelchair, they put out that apparatus that straps you into it and you can throw.
mm,
Then other times there's just like a T post stuck in the ground and you got to hold on to it. And like that's the same category, but they are totally different setups. One is way better
right,
than the other.
right.
I don't know which, but one definitely is.
But one has a big advantage, and
Yeah.
that's why I want to have conversation, because I want to be able to do something in that regard. But I'm clueless. I'm like, I don't know, like, what, I don't know what anything constitutes. Like, how do you group people? How do you, you know I don't know. And that's going to be part of the conversation, just to see what we can do, maybe to try to create, a space, for them to be able to compete on that
Mhm.
level. And that's going to take some time, but I think that I mean, there's more and more adaptives all the time, competing. But again, they're pretty spread out across the country
Yeah.
too. So it's a real difficult thing to try to kind of get them all together for games here and there. So,
Yeah. And there's a really low population of adaptive athletes in Highland Games, like a
mm,
really low population. And it's really hard to plan and accommodate and just like deal with like a group that small from across such a wide range. Like I can imagine how difficult that would be
yeah.
to do it successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I keep getting at, like, adaptives will ask me, and they're like, "Well, when are you going to have a category for us at Masters Worlds?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, you're not even 40, and second of all, I don't have an answer. Like, I don't know. What is your solution? How do you see it happening? You tell me. Like, I don't know. So you tell me how it would work. Like, and that's part of the conversation that I want to have with Kilted Patriot, because I want them to maybe have a roundtable discussion with athletes that they have encountered over the past year and a half or 2 years, and see, if they can kind of get something together that we can try to find a plan for. But I don't know. I'm just clueless.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
and that's just one of those things that like, granted, this it's an old sport, but we're encountering like new challenges that not many people have dealt with before, right? Like I don't know how many games or how many people have tried to put together an adaptive masters class at a world championship. I don't think it's ever been done. So like, there's no
I
there's no there's no like blueprint on how to do it right.
No, not at all. And this year in Mississippi, Danny Webster did allow two adaptive athletes to throw exhibition while we were, you know, while we were there that weekend, and it was cool, because they got to participate. They had little bit slightly bigger audience, which is great. But also, I I felt like there was something more that SAI could have done for them had we known that that was kind of part of the plan. So, I kind of was kind of left going, I don't really have anything for them. I feel like an ass now because I don't have anything to present to them, and I was like,
Yeah,
well,
you went in
I,
empty handed. Just I don't know.
I, I was like, they could have these medals. Like, I don't know what to do. I didn't have a
Yeah,
plan. And you're not getting a championship trophy because there's two of you and you're not even 40. So I don't know what to
you're not even.
say. You're not 40. I can't freaking heck. But I don't ever want to exclude anybody, and nor do I want to diminish their ability or their enthusiasm for the sport. But also I just, for us to even add a class at MWC financially, logistically, it's crazy.
Mhm.
It's a few $100s just to add another class, and I'm like, or even split. Some of the older men, they have to be kind of grouped together. Um, so it's very, well, I don't want to say that I'm being stingy, but it's really hard for me to let go of one championship plate for one 80-year-old thrower. But dude showed up.
Yeah.
So he's technically the champ.
So my question is, and I'm trying to phrase it without sounding like an asshole, but like
Go ahead. It's fine.
I have a hard time like if I were aiding a championship and only one person showed up, or like if I knew that there's a chance that like there's not enough in the population to fill out 10 people 80 plus category, I just wouldn't have it. I would say I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I'm glad you're doing well and like you like the sport and like you're involved and all that jazz. But like there's just it's not a team. We don't have the
I
group.
know. I know. And it's, you know, as as a as men and women, as the categories, right, as the classes age up, when we hit like 60 plus in either side, um there's not a full 12, there's not a full flight of 12 um to compete. um that doesn't mean we're saying no. You're still gonna throw. um i i I'm happy that you're 80 and you're throwing, but also I'm all, oh, a lot of money for
So
one guy.
for one guy,
And one guy, it's a lot of money.
I I would never want to tell anyone they can't throw. But to be fair, it is a championship. It's like I don't know. I feel like it would require other people to be doing it.
I
But
know.
like one thing that you guys do that again, if I were commander of the universe, I would do differently. Is I would break up the age groups every 10 years instead of every five. Because like
Yeah, we've thought about that. It's
it's
hard though.
it's no, it's not. Just do it. You just say,
It's hard.
guys, if you're like if you're like 40, if you're 49, you're probably going to get beat by the 40 and 1 month year olds, and that's just how it is. Like you're and like that's life. You don't get to be number one forever. I don't know. again, I'm not a master's. It's like I don't want to come off as being an asshole because the largest population of Highland Games throwers are masters athletes. I don't want to piss them off, but I don't know, man. Sometimes it does seem like people are just trying to get the trophy again and again, and they're adjusting the rules to keep getting the trophy and adjusting the age brackets to keep getting the trophy, and then adjusting the like, oh, there's a regional trophy, get to get the trophy. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I know. I mean, we talk about this a lot about restructuring the classes, but bro, when you old, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Uh, it, uh, if I had to throw, I'm telling you, if I had to throw with people that are younger than me, I would just not throw anymore. I'd be like, I just freaking can't. There's just
See,
no.
and that's what most people would say. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm just out." And then I'm like, well, don't go. I didn't mean to do that." So,
No, no, but I'm like, but like for real, like, because at the end of the day, I kind of am an egomaniac, and I would be like, fuck, I got, I got, I got hosed. Like, why did I even go on the field? Like, so embarrassing. Like, oh my god,
yeah.
like, like, oh, you threw that stone like 90,000 feet. That's good for you. Like, my 10 feet's great too. I feel good about me. That's a lie. I don't feel good about that. And I know that it's a championship. It's not a feel good moment, but also like, damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and I think that traditionally they've had it at the 5 year increments, um, to get more people to keep them involved. Um, and again, I haven't had experience with the other championships, because I've never thrown in them because I was 38, 37 maybe ish when I started throwing. So I was already close to masters. So
Hmm.
like that's the only, and I sucked. So I sucked for a long time. So like there
Yeah.
was no way in hell I was gonna ever do any other championships except for to hope that I could make the cut for
Mhm.
MWC. So and back in the day, you didn't even have to have numbers to make the cut. Like literally, you it was like registration well opened at like midnight, and at 12:01, if you were the fastest one, hit enter. Doesn't matter if you lied about your numbers or not. If you hit enter at the right time, you were in. It
Yeah.
was like that. It was awful.
It's
Um,
tough.
it was so bad. It was like, and if you sucked at internet, like you never made it because you never got in. So
There was a time like regionally in the Great Plains area where we don't have a ton of games, but we had more A class throwers than we had games for. And so if you didn't sign up like quickly, you were not getting into that games. Like they didn't, you were not one of the 10 or the 12. And that sucks when you work on a truck all day long and you don't have the internet at your fingertips.
yeah,
So like I had
yeah,
to tell my wife like the second games I missed, like I'm like, oh, I just can't go to it now. I text my wife who works at a desk and I'm like, I don't know how you do it, just Google notifications or whatever, but like please like sign me up for them. Don't let me miss them. And from there I found my cheat code. And I felt bad for everyone else who doesn't have a wife at a desk all day, but it sucks to suck.
yeah. I know. I mean, it was so bad, and it was like, well, I'm in. I probably don't really need to be in, but I'm good enough to be in. That was the other problem with the original NASGA too, because everybody could put their numbers in. Um,
Hmm.
However they wanted, and it was wow. It was like you fucking lied about that because you are not that good.
Yeah.
Like,
To be fair, I don't think NASA got abused as much as it could have. It could have
no,
been
I'm sure it could have been way worse.
like COVID got pretty weird where people were just putting in practices. I was like, well, these aren't games.
This doesn't
Like
work.
Yeah, it's not this like you and like, and it's like, it just like shout out to whoever this guy was, but it was like him and his entire family. Just like they're all
God.
the same last names, all different classes, different age groups and stuff, but they all put in their scores. And I was like, hell yeah. But
You're so
it's not real.
cute.
It's not real, but I appreciate the effort.
It's so funny. Yeah, and we've been trying as far as MWC is concerned, you know, to try to make it better as far as you got to qualify. You got to show us something. We've spent countless hours like verifying games and numbers and the legitimacy of, somebody's ability. Um and for a hot minute, Heavy Athlete was helping us with that.
Hmm.
Kind of doing what we were asking to do, and we all know where that's headed. Um,
Yeah, it's it's yeah. Well, I I I haven't reached out to him in the past like month or so, but I have reached out recently and I've gotten nothing back on any of my questions. And I think we all kind of knew that was going to happen once Matt left. It's like it's like you work with like one of your family members and like they get fired. It's only a matter of time before you get fired or quit.
yeah,
It's kind of like I kind of saw that coming, and I could be wrong, and I would love to be wrong on this because a lot of effort was put into Heavy Athlete, and to see it just fizzle away, kind of what it's looking like right now. No updates. I'm getting Cloudflare errors every single day as I look at it a lot for many things. And just yeah, but it's not getting updated, and it looks like it's just slowly dying.
yeah, and I think that it's run its course. I do know that the group that is running NASGA 2.0 right now, they're really getting up to speed now that they know it's sunsetting on heavy athlete, and they're going to try to get something ready to be able to show the public, hopefully within the next month or so, um, public facing. But there's like a group of 13 developers working on
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah.
So
The parallel program, the secret parallel
yeah,
program.
yeah.
You
So
know, and it's I think it like some people didn't want to like talk about that when it was like at the early stages of it, but we all knew it was a good idea that someone is trying to make NASCA 2.0 or Heavy Athlete 2.0. Someone's trying to have some kind of thing. We'll see. And I do feel really bad for whoever is having to market the new NASGA again, because it's we've all seen it a bunch. We've all seen a new NASGA every couple of years, and nothing ever happens. And then we got one, and everyone got. And I'm probably going to catch a lot of shit for this. I'm going to say they got strong armed into switching over,
mhm.
and I say strong arm because, and it's the same way where, let's say Masters World Championship has like the way they do things and the way they qualify it, and games start adjusting for it. Like I mentioned, of like, oh, we throw on wing trigs and D handles, half inch hammer handles every single year, and so games will start to switch to that, and then so I guess by in that sense, you would have strong armed the Highland Games market to accommodate to your guys' rules, which not it's not to say a bad thing. It's a bad thing if it doesn't work out like
Mhm.
this is, but that's a long-winded way of saying like I hope we come out of this okay, and
Yeah.
whoever's behind the new one, we all cut them some slack and give them a little bit of grace.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're working pretty hard um, to make it so that if any one of them walked away from it, it would still be streamlined enough that it would continue to move in the right direction and continue to grow. Um, it's just for our purposes, right? For MWC, like we have like 300, 400 applicants, and it's just a nightmare
Hmm.
to try to do any other way than the way we were trying to get Heavy Athlete to set it up. That only
I
ads put
like,
in numbers and
yeah, yeah. I I'm I miss Nazca and like some of the weird things that came with. For instance, like when I started throwing in the lightweight class, to qualify, your only wob numbers that counted were from standing wob only. They didn't count spinning wob, so you had to go to a special website and type in what games it was at and what the height was for your standing wob. They pulled everything else from Nazca, but like you had to go to this separate site and just enter in your wob number, and so they can verify if it's standing or spinning. I don't know how they verified that.
it's like that's weird.
I never did it because the year I started as a lightweight and went to my first nationals and worlds, they already moved away from that, and I couldn't figure out how that website worked anyways because it was like it felt like a Google Doc on a website that it kind of shouldn't have been on. Nothing was scaled right. I don't know. It was a whole thing.
So weird.
I don't know how
What is
computers
this?
work. Yeah. But I was told to enter my standing wob number. And so I tried and I was like, I don't know. It turns out I didn't even need it that year. But that's like the fun things that you had to do, which also, to be fair, hurts the sport having to do like weird shit like that to go to a championship. That's
Yeah,
like one of the things that people knock Highland Games on is just that like if you want to get anywhere and do anything, you got to go to a random Facebook group and hope you find that random Facebook group to get you what you need.
yeah. And that brings me back to like our website. We're really trying, you know, ScottishAthleticsInternational.org. We're really trying to put content on there that doesn't just pertain to masters stuff, right? It has lightweight stuff in there. Talks about championships that we're looking to work with. It also covers all the world records we currently can display for masters, men's lightweights, world records. We're displaying pro, men, women, amateur, women's lightweights. I think soon the junior record's going to be up on there. Um, we're just trying to find some way to streamline everything so everything is in one place, so that you don't have to look at a ton of other websites. Like you said, find the right Facebook group, find this, find that. It's right there on the website. We're making it a little bit easier for people that don't internet. We have a newsletter that they can sign
Hmm.
up for, so information goes right to their inbox. Um, because a lot of the people that we do work with, they don't do internet, right? So they don't do socials. They don't have, they just don't do it. So at
Hmm.
least if they're getting email, they can get the newsletter and they can kind of keep updated on what is going on. Um, we're trying a few things. We're trying like a Shopify, trying to do like a shirt drop like every month, some new design, something fun, pre-order stuff. We're just trying a couple of other things just to kind of bring more eyes to the site. Um, you know, stuff that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And that's why I have other people. Like can you do the things on the interwebs? Because I don't. So if you could just,
That's
yeah,
yeah, that's what I need other people.
yeah, it's great because I can kind of delegate the things, and then I look at the website. I'm like, oh, that shit really happened! Yay! Like wow. But I think that the site looks really nice, and I think that it's going to help people to kind of see Highland Games a little bit more
Yeah.
as more we circulate into different areas. We circulate the website. Um, so yeah, I mean those things are cool. They're exciting. I know that the website that we had before, SMAI website, was just I don't know what it was. It was rough.
It was clogged. That's how I would describe it. Like there was so many layers of things, and like if I wanted to like peruse like world records, like I had to like scroll sideways and scroll down to like see the name, then see it across, and like there were
Yeah.
two columns of that, so they were both little. it was
It was
it
it was really
was
bad.
hard. It was hard to
It
look
was
at.
it was
I
bad.
just pulled it. I just pulled up the new one. That's good. It's clean. I can read it.
Yeah.
It makes sense like every other website, like all the drop down menus. There's nothing more frustrating than going to a website and they're operating on a different format of like drop down menu that you're not used to. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, how like you're like you got to peel back the layers of the website to get the information you want.
Right. Or you're
It's
gonna
not
like,
like
could you tell me how your website works? I don't know.
yeah.
And could you I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So we've been really working really hard to like clean up things like the Hall of Fame for MWC, like, so that there actually is athlete pictures and bios and information about people in there. Um, just trying to make it a little more now friendly. Um, it kind of shows who's working on things, who consults with us. Um, if you have a championship but you don't have a place to host your championship, we can help you find a place by seeking out hosts for you. So I think it's a little more in depth.
You guys have a whole section for lightweight Hall of Fame, but there's
Yes.
nothing there. But
Well, no,
there
because
could be.
these lightweight folks have got to have conversation about how to do that, and we're open to it. We want to put it on there. We want that to happen. I think that the biggest thing that we're trying to do is to really celebrate and highlight the athletes.
Yeah.
So
I got, I'm running through all the people that would be really sweet on this website. But cool. I like that. That's cool. Oh, dude, let's click the Masters one. You got a ton of people on there
yeah.
from Canada and Scotland, and I like that.
So yeah. So what we're trying to do is, when we're in the states, we're trying to keep the Hall of Fame nominees more stateside, and then when we go to
Hmm.
Europe, we're trying to build on our European entrance into the Hall of Fame. So um, again, it's really been helping to bridge the gap between us and Europe, because I think for a long time it was just really USA heavy, and
Hmm.
I think maybe they felt some kind of way, as they should.
I,
Um,
I bet. I was gonna say. I bet they did.
as they should. So we've been working in the past couple of years to rectify that, and to
Hmm.
and to bring more European and Canadian Hall of Fame members in to the hall. So um, it's definitely a work in progress, but yeah, I
Yeah.
like the new website. It looks great. Frankie Goodman has been doing all the work. She's really good
Shout out
at
Frankie.
that. Yeah, shout out Frankie. She man saved us at Mississippi this year because we had all the individual event medals,
Hmm.
but what was supposed to happen didn't happen. So me, Frankie, and Josh spent Saturday night out of Worlds. I had just torn my my rotator cuff, and we're like in the hotel room. She's printing off like the event and the one two threes and the event and the one two. So like we had to sticker over 500 medals
Wow.
um Saturday night so that they could be distributed because they didn't get distributed on Saturday, and then to continue distribution on Sunday. So I mean, she's a real trooper. I mean, she brought her printer in, she went to the store and she got a bunch of stickers, and we just stickered for hours. It was terrible.
Incredible.
It was freaking
That's
terrible. I was like,
that's the Highland Games behind the scenes stuff. It's just people doing stuff in hotel rooms that you're like, oh, what are you doing in here?
yeah, pretty much.
We're
You know,
printing.
and
That's what we're doing.
and it's funny because Frankie was saying, well, Josh and Courtney were, we were the three of us were doing all this like all night, pretty much, and they were like, wait, the two people running the organization were putting stickers on. Yeah, that's the job. Like,
Yeah, it's real grassroots out here.
it's like that's the damn job. I don't know what you were thinking, but it's important. It's important to people that they get the things that they think they should be getting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I said from now on, the host has to get the freaking medals, and they have to be already pre-stamped 1, 2, 3. I'm never doing a sticker party again. Love y'all, but not doing it. So
Cr- Nice.
it was a lot of work. But again, it's that's the kind of passion for the games and for the athletes that the people that are currently on this board have.
What what other championships are you guys trying to scoop up or assist with?
So, um, I have conversation lined up with Carrie Overfelt to talk about Legends. That's the U.S. basically U.S. Masters Championship. That's he covers that, so we want to try to help him make that better. And we've spoken to Jim Morrison about getting more involved in the lightweight women's championships, and he seems pretty open to having discussion leading into 2027. So, um, so those are
They
a
need it.
couple. Yeah,
God bless them, but those women they need the help. Because
yeah. So
to be fair, there's not a huge population of lightweight women, but there's enough that I think there could be a ton more if we just give them some more support that we've
yeah,
given other groups in the past. But
so we're working on that. Um,
yeah, great.
so that's going to be good, and we're going to figure out how we can support them in some way this year,
Mhm.
and then transition, um, which will be which will be good for everybody, I think. And then want to see about supporting the women's U.S. national games and women's worlds. Talking to that group, I want to talk to that group. I think I have a meeting with them next week. I think um, to have discussion about what it would look like for us to support them, um, and if they had interest in us taking over, the logistical end of setting that up. So
Yeah.
it's a slow build, but you have been having conversations with people, kind of just really introducing ourselves, talking about how we can work together so that the athlete has the best possible experience.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where we're at right now.
I like that. Um, do you guys have a rule book? Like this is what rules a games has to like kind of fall under to make it count for the championships?
Um, what what we have for MWC is, if somebody says we want to host MWC, we send out a one sheet that says, you have to be able to provide, you know, at least, I always kind of highball it, $100,000 of financial support from your
Hmm.
community, from, your city, whatever, in order to make this successful. Because usually what happens is people think they can do it on a shoestring budget, and then they end up going broke. Um,
Yeah.
so I try to inflate it a little bit. But some of the things that we require, because we're 200 plus athletes, that an international airport has to be at least a half an hour from the field. That's you know that's kind of a must. We don't want to go any further than a half an hour. Um,
Yeah.
the airport has to be able to have enough rental cars to cover 200 plus athletes. You know,
Hmm.
um, you have to have like hotel infrastructure to be able to
Yeah.
house us. So we kind of run down a list of things that they may not have thought about ahead of
Hmm.
saying, they want to host. I mean, I've had people say they want to host, but I'm like, how close is the international airport? And they're like, I don't know. I think it's like an hour away or an hour and a half away. I'm like, it's really too far. Because a
Hmm.
lot of times people are just flying in and flying out. Um, so they're renting a car for the weekend, or they're ride sharing, or relying on public transit to get into wherever we're throwing.
Yeah.
So and field space is a big deal. You know,
Sure.
you have to have multiple trigs. You have to have enough space for at least two hammer trigs. You can't
Hmm.
just have one. We're rotating a bunch of groups all day long. So I try to map out and point out to them that it's not just about hosting a games. It's hosting a
Yeah.
giant games. And
Yes.
like it's huge. And like one of the big things I always ask is, um, what is your average attendance for the games that you're thinking about having our games at? Because
Hmm.
if you can't rely on your gate to help cover some of your costs, you're probably not going to survive this. You
Yeah.
know. So, but for smaller championships, I mean, when it's like when it's you guys, it's lightweights, right? It's like 10, 12 guys. So it's
Hmm.
not as imperative to have the giant hotel, to have, you know, I mean, the airport being close is important, right? But like, you're not you're not having to think about having a couple hundred cars available for
Yeah.
if somebody like wanted to rent all the cars, and so on that scale it's a bit easier as a roadmap. Do we call them rules? Not really. I suggest to people, I strongly suggest to people that you make sure that you can handle this, really handle it before you say yes to it.
Yeah. I was even meaning just like, so if an athlete like competes at a games and they're throwing a, I don't know, like a 40-pound heavyweight, and that's what their heavyweight is. Could be a European one or whatever, right? Because they do goofy things.
Right.
How do you know that the games that people are entering in scores for are up to snuff?
Mm, yeah.
Like, are you fact checking like everyone's scores to be like this is what they say that it is, and this is a reputable games. This is not like literally someone's backyard that they're entering scores in from.
Yeah, that's hard. um like on the larger level, that's really hard to vet. But
Hmm.
like, I mean, on a smaller scale, I'm sure we could. um it's that was part of the idea behind heavy athlete only having ads put numbers
Hmm.
in, because then at least you could look up that games, and you could
Yeah.
say, is this like, Joe Schmo's freaking backyard circus tent, or is it a legit games? And if your numbers are inflated, like if I look at your numbers and your average is A, and then you go to his games and you're friggin', throwing 10 feet further, I'm like, well, what the hell are you throwing? Like,
Hmm.
I'm going to question that. I'm going to ask,
Yeah.
and I'm not, I'm going to look at their average as opposed to their one game that inflate. Like, did you
Mhm.
throw everything downhill? Was it a cliff? Like, what the frick? Like,
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
doesn't work. Like, what are you talking about? So we do look at some things, because sometimes you look at numbers and you're like, that doesn't seem right, because your
Hmm.
average. Because I look at your whole sheet, right?
Hmm.
Like if you threw 5 games, I'm looking at those 5 games, and I'm saying this is an anomaly. This is not your average. Your average is over
Yeah.
here, and your
Hmm.
average still might get you in. Still might You still might qualify with your average, but I'm not necessarily buying your cliff numbers. I'm not
Your
buying that.
cliff numbers.
Your cliff numbers, I can't buy those.
What's the process to get into the Masters World Championship? Because it's
So,
it's kind of changed over the years, right?
yeah,
Like with
so it
like
used
the
to
numbers required.
so it used to be like, pardon me, I was losing my share, like literally. So it used to be, like I said, it used to be the Wild West. Like, if you could click enter the fastest, you were in. Um, it didn't matter. I don't think Kevin ever really even looked at numbers. Um, and then when Mike was starting to work with it. He was like, we gotta have something that's a little more substantial. Like, you can't just s- you know tell me that you're good enough. I gotta see something.
Hmm.
So then he made some standardized numbers. Um, and I think that those numbers were based on looking at averages across the board, and then maybe adding like a foot or two and saying you got to hit these numbers, or in some cases dropping a foot off and saying you got to hit these
Hmm.
numbers um in order to qualify. And it was not all 9 events. Obviously, we don't count caber because it's too arbitrary,
Yeah.
and we weren't doing sheaf. um we weren't doing sheaf everywhere, so that wasn't a qualifying number. um so it was like you had to hit at least a heavy or a light in stones and weights and hammers. You had to have a combination of those numbers in order to qualify. And then you take all those numbers, you look at all those people in that class, and then you would rank them. So, and that was generally that came off of NASGA. Those numbers are getting pulled from NASGA.
Yeah.
And then we would rank them, and then they would get invited or waitlisted.
Why wouldn't you guys just go down the list of like whoever's the highest overall score and just go from there across each category, like
That was part
for
of the
invites?
problem. That was part of
Oh,
the
okay.
problem was NASGA was doing it in 10-year increments, and we in
As it
MWC
as
was
it
in 5-year.
see,
So
as
I
it should
know,
be.
you're trying to sell me. I know, I'm not there yet, but I know you're cute though. Um, so like that was what was difficult. Like, we couldn't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because they weren't in the same age groups. They weren't, and not everybody would put their ages in. They wouldn't put their birth date in NASGA, so it didn't filter
Mhm.
properly anyway. So, like, there were so many challenges. It's like, this is like a rat's nest, and there's no way to like really know, except for if I put all these names in a hat and I literally just draw names. And I gotten to the point that with Ted, when we were trying to do all the math before we got into heavy athlete, I'm like, why can't we put all these people in a hat and just draw the names, bro? And if they get in, they get in, and if they don't, how are they gonna know we didn't check?
Yeah,
They can't
God
be
wills
mad.
it.
Just pull the name, dude. But like, and God bless Ted, but he would just agonize over these things. And then somebody would sell him a sad story, and he'd be like, "I'll let you in." I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I, I don't understand what is happening. It's very difficult for me, because I never, with either Mike or Ted, I didn't want to be the number one. I just want to be the number two, and I want to drive the freaking bus as best as I can without putting it over the cliff. um it was I have to say that they both just wanted it to succeed. They both had passion for it. They both um really wanted the best for athletes. um but I don't think they either one of them really saw it as a business. There was some emotional attachments for whatever reason for both those guys, and
Yeah,
um hard decisions were hard to make. So, um and I think that
yeah.
that's why they got burned out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's not a role that's meant for everyone, and that's not a knock on either one of them. But every role has a person that's going to fill it like perfectly, and it just wasn't them, and that's fine.
Yeah,
But
and it may
c'est
not be
la
me
vie.
either. I don't know. Um,
We'll find
but
out.
this is who we got for right now. Um,
Yeah.
and in and
If you make a mistake, I know the masters will let you know. That's
I
the
know,
thing.
and I'm okay with it. I can't hurt my feelings. I don't have any. But it's at the end of the day, I really just I think that it's such a niche sport, and I think that we all love it or we wouldn't be doing it, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has their own idea of what it should look like. Um, and some of those people have stepped up to be a part of this team, and others have chosen to just kind of be back in the shadow a little bit and kind of say how they feel about things here and there. And all of those things are great. Um, it's not it's not a perfect organization. It's not gonna be. But what I hope that it is an opportunity for us to really spotlight and to really, really, appreciate those that are just going out there every day and throwing their asses off for for the love of the game, and that we want to
Yeah.
give them the best possible experience while they're doing that. And that takes a lot of different people and a lot of different personalities to make happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, are you guys still drug testing people? Planning on drug testing people?
So yes, we have just gotten back a couple of really informative quotes. We are working with, and Josh can speak to this a little bit more. Josh Hagan is doing all the work on PD because he's done it with powerlifting, and has some connections. So
Hmm.
again, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and we're not trying to do anything different than any other sport is doing. Um, so we're still having discussions, but we are moving forward. I think that it's an important part, um, even though we are a niche sport. I still think that the sport is for everyone. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I just think that you know, I think that we need to be on the same playing field as every other strength sport is out there, to legitimize the sport. Um, and that's, I
Sure.
mean, I think there is a lot of opinions about it, and that's okay, and there should be. But right
Yeah.
now, this is the direction that it's going, and we are going to move forward with it, and there will be an announcement about that and about what it's going to look like, and what will be part of it and what won't be part of it. Um,
I
so,
bet you guys are gearing up for that.
wah, 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 wah. Oh,
Well,
you weren't trying to be funny.
man, I can't imagine the Facebook like threads that are going to come from that. Because like
It's
even just
okay.
like the initial like announcement of it, like people were really mad about it.
I
just,
know.
just the idea of like this could happen. They're like, no, not on my sport. I'm like,
I know.
man.
I
But
know.
like
And it's
that's like one of those things. It's like your version of Highland Games is different than my version of Highland Games, and that's fine.
mhm.
Or anyone like I think like personally I think sure drug test in the sport and like that's your prerogative. I think it's not worth doing, and just purely based on population. But if you guys want to do it, like I don't see any reason why like that should like my opinion shouldn't matter. Does that make sense?
Right.
Because
I
like
mean, and
I'm doing yeah.
yeah, it's funny. It's like I so years ago, I ran a summer basketball league for kids, and the kids thought that they were going to get over on me. They kept stealing the basketballs. So every day, there's less, and I really think that they thought I was going to buy more. And I explained to them that the rest of their summer, they're probably going to have their best 3-point summer, because all it's going to be is air balls. So you're going to count it however you want, but we're
Yeah.
paying with nothing. Um, and eventually, the basketball started showing back up here and there and everywhere. And I just, I think that it's what I'm trying to get at is it's okay however you feel about it, whatever your opinion is. At the end of the day, I don't need you. You need me for a purpose, right? You need this organization. You need MWC if that's what you want to
Mhm.
do. If you and that's where we're testing is
Yeah.
MWC. Um, that's so if you want to play, this is the standard.
Yeah. And
But I'm not
I
forcing
think that's,
you.
yeah, it's perfectly fair. You guys are the one providing the opportunity for people to compete at a world championship. You have a specific rules, and if you don't want to piss in a cup for someone to play this game, then that's your prerogative.
Right.
And it's not like you're out there fucking drug testing the entire field. That would not work. That'd be
No,
crazy.
no, 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 no. Oh no. And it's oh no, no, I'm good. Um, but it's yeah, it's we tabled it for a while, and then we have a board, and we put it to a vote, and it was unanimous to
Yeah.
move forward. So, again, I'm always encouraging people, if you have an opinion about something, please join the sounding board. Please reach out to us on Contact Us. The one thing that has been great is that, uh, unlike my predecessors, when I took over, I made a conscious decision to make sure people understood that I wasn't going to answer them in any personal forum whatsoever. If you want to talk to me, you can send me an email, or you can send an email to Contact Us so that the entire board sees the question. Um, it's For me, this is a business, um, and friends are friends, and that's great. We talk about other things, um, but I think that it's important that when people send us things through Contact Us, that it's documented, it's moving forward. It's If I left tomorrow, I wouldn't leave my feelings on the table, right? It's all there in the forum. It's all the board members can read it. Everybody knows it's documented, it's saved, so that we can refer to things. um and I think that's just really important. I mean, I watched two guys kind of lose their shit because people kept contacting them personally, and it's funny that they reach out to me now and they're like, oh, are you getting barrages of emails and texts? And I said no, because i I was very clear about what I was
Yeah.
not going to do. So, um but we want people to be part of this. We're looking for people to help us, seek sponsorships and secure grants. We're looking for people to just come hang out, be on board. Um, we're working with other organizations in Europe now to try to streamline some things. Um, we got Brian
How
McLean
many
from Canada on board.
how
So,
many how many athletes do you think are in Europe?
Jesus, I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know either.
It's so weird because
I,
there's no one way to know. They
it's
don't have
definitely less than
anything.
us. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's definitely less than us, but like, and somehow I think more than Scotland, but not by much. I don't think.
No. No. They're and it's so weird because even when you ask, like, can you direct me to your website where you log all everybody's numbers? Like I don't know if it's a secret handshake or what you need, but they're like, oh, it's this, and I'm like, yeah, but I looked there and there's nothing there. Can you
Dude,
not be so
they
vague? I don't know why you're holding out on me. Like, it's weird.
they they do not want Americans to know numbers at all. They are
It's
dead
so
set on
weird.
keeping it a secret. My favorite thing was going, it was for like the 2023 lightweight world championship. We're trying to get the results from all the like Europeans, and they literally just sent back like, oh, we don't have the score sheets, and we're like, well, we need the score sheets because you have to prove that who won, and then there was a tie, and we're like, there's no ties, not for first or third, first, second, third. There's no ties. You can break that tie a million different ways, and they're like, no, there's definitely. So we have to send three people now, and we're like, I don't think you can do that. We finally got their score sheet in, and it was on a piece of notebook paper. It's just handwritten in blue pen, and it was just pulling teeth just to try to get like championship results.
It's
But
so strange. It's like, why is this I don't know why it's difficult. And
I don't know.
uh,
I think some of it too, and I've heard this from other Europeans, is that like they just they don't want to give this. I might if I can take this out, but they don't want to give like Americans like that control. We're like, oh, I have to give it to you, the American, because you the Americans are running things. Like I've heard this a number of times. It's that like you guys are in control. Yeah, like even in like these little situations, like yeah, you're in control, obviously, but we're not going to like just give it to you. Like you have to like you got to play the game a little bit because we don't want you to be like in charge. I've heard this, and I'm probably going to take that out because it just makes me look like a dumb American. But like I am a dumb
stupid
American, so
American, you can't have my numbers. Brr.
yeah, it was the funniest thing. But they don't like sharing their numbers and whatever. We're still better at
Well,
fucking
you
everything.
know, I said to, I said to Vivi, I was like, bro, the reason why y'all don't get invites to Worlds is because you don't put numbers in. Like, I don't know
Hmm.
how else to say it to you. You don't get to come because it's not that we're excluding you. It's you don't add anything in. You don't bring anything to the table.
This was a hard conversation with the Europeans. Is that they wanted a member of like every European country to have a spot at lightweight worlds. And we're like, I don't think you have a person in every European country that's a lightweight. I don't think you do.
No.
And, and I don't know. It's different. I think the language barrier is a big thing too. That we have states, they have countries. They're all in the same rules, so they're the
Right.
same country in my mind. But again, dumb American. What do I know?
I know, but it is difficult. Again, like so they had this um the first ever women's world championship in Scotland.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't, how? Like, who was invited? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean? And like, and then so I reached out to the guy that, the AD that hosted it.
Hmm.
And like, he apparently went rogue from like the Royal Scottish Highland Games Association because they were like, you
Yeah.
can't do that, you can't have women, blah 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 blah. And like, so he went rogue, and they publicized it so much, and it was on like all their media that these women were throwing and yada yada yada, that the Royal Scottish Games Highland Games Association had to like recognize it. They like
Oh, it's funny.
hoodwinked them. So I reached out to the guy. I was like, "Hey, so how can SAI support you moving forward? Like, because I feel like you're going to get boned like in all of your games." But then I looked up because I asked him. Well, at first I looked it up and I didn't find a lot of information. Then I looked and I asked him what the implement sizes were, and they're not the same implements as we throw. And mostly
Okay.
it's because um well, they don't have implements for women.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the women, if they were going to throw, had to throw like the guys weights. I'm
Yeah.
like,
They throw the 56. Yeah.
I would die. I would I would absolutely die. um but like, so like their stone was 9 pound. um the only thing that was 28 was their wob. Their hammer was like it was like 14 pound or something, so it was in the middle. It was just so random, and I was like, how the hell do we compare? If so now if you enter, like, how do I know what you threw? Like, how does that stack up, right? Like what we were talking about before, like their implements are all weird in Europe.
Yeah.
So how do I really know like what you okay, so your number might be low, but maybe you had to throw the 56 and then now you're a beast. Like, I don't know that. You know what I mean? Like, I have no
Yeah.
idea what to expect. So we're really trying like do you know Simeon from Switzerland?
Yeah. Burger.
Yeah.
Brewer. I don't
Bruger,
know how to say it. Yeah. It's got
Brugler,
an umlaut on there somewhere.
that guy.
Yeah.
So he's kind of jumping in on some of the stuff, and I'm like, we all have to work together to make this make sense because I can't, in good faith, like accept applications for worlds if I don't know what you're throwing. It's apples and oranges at this point. It's it really doesn't make any sense. It doesn't translate. So I'm
See, this is like where in like my mind where I think it would be super beneficial to like grow the sport in Europe and like build them up on like the same playing field as everyone else. Like this is like how we these are how the games are run. These are the implements. These are like all the rules that we can do consistently because they it seems like with all the many Europeans I've talked to that all their games are kind of different. They're all
Mhm.
a little bit odd, even more odd than they are here because they're odd. But like you would have SAI kind of just have like affiliate games in Europe that I don't know. That's kind of like where I'm going. It's like they're doing things odd that doesn't help you and your world championship. So I don't know. What talking, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, I think that you're on the right track, and I think that's what we're trying to do without
Hmm.
saying this is what you have to do. But maybe lending the idea to them that you're not getting invites because you're not sharing information, and and when you do, I'm very confused about what your implement sizes are. So instead of having us to do all that work, how about we work on making everything uniform? That way, your weight and my weight is the same, and we move on from there. Um, yeah, it. I did a games while I was over there. In 2018 because Worlds were in Germany. I did a separate games. I got invited to one of their games. Showed up regular time. Like there was nobody there, bro. Like I was like, am I in the wrong freaking? I said to Janet, I said, I don't know if we're in the right place. And then like by 10 o'clock, people are starting to show up, and now like I already stretched once, and now I'm like, now what the hell's going on? These people came and they all got breakfast, and they sat down and they were eating breakfast and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I've been here since like 8 freaking 30. I want to throw. Let's go. And like we didn't start throwing until like 11:30. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
this is the weirdest. I mean, had I known the party didn't start till 11:30, I would have planned accordingly. But like I was just like, I don't really know what's going on here. Like
Yeah.
I've been here, you know. Um so it is just different. Um and I think that, you know, trying to trying to work with them a little bit to see if we can grow some consistency won't just help us as far as the MWC end, but will help all of the other classes, you know, women's classes, men's classes, lightweight classes, just so that there's more information for them. Um, I don't know, and I don't know how it'll go. You know, I mean, we're just gonna try. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
I
just to
mean, that's all you can do.
have conversation. see what we can do, you know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all the hard work you're putting into all this because I don't know. I care about the sport, and I appreciate when other people are doing things to make it better. So, thank you. And on that note, we are coming up on time. Do you have any final thoughts?
Um, yeah, it just the one thing I do want to say is that we just really do encourage people. And you don't have to be a masters athlete or a lightweight athlete. You don't even have to be an athlete. Um, if you have passion for the sport, if you think you have something that you can contribute to help them make this better, maybe you're the missing piece on this board, please, find the website, reach out, let us know what you want to do, because we're open. We're just kind of getting this thing going. We're building, and I think it would be really cool to see more faces, and hear from other people about things that maybe they've been thinking about for a long time but just never had any place to put it. Um, you're the kind of people we want.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it very much. And that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching, listening, doing all the things. Throw far. God bless. And I click.